you're not moving out, you're not moving out on a boy. And the day that I moved out, my mom cried for 3 days.
I know you had a few niggas, but they ain't done enough. I see how you moving, baby, that's where you cutting up. I know I ride a few niggas, but they ain't running up. I hate to get to that bag, yeah, I hate to run it up. You make me laugh when I'm mad, I swear I be dumb as fuck. I can be mad with you.
Hey y'all, it's Itslormadii, and it's Look Like It's It because I'm back with another video. I said I'm back with another video, y'all. Sight. Okay, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my moving out experience, moving out of my mama's house, and all that type of stuff. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram, and I got a few questions, so I'm going to answer them. I'm also going to answer like questions that I always get that I didn't get in my questions, which was weird. But yeah, one thing I will say is I appreciate everybody who follows me on Instagram who was interactive with my questions, because I had to pull y'all teeth out just to get y'all to ask questions, and that's really annoying. So but yes, I do plan on making this video a part 2. So if you guys have questions after this video, then go ahead and leave them in the comment box below, or you can DM me if you want them to be anonymous for some reason, or you know, you can comment it on, you can message it to me on YouTube, or whatever the case may be, and I'll make another video answering my YouTubers questions. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should. All that information will be in the description box down below. I'm going to answer the questions that I got, and then I'm going to basically give y'all like a rundown of everything that I know from experience and things like that, and just like give y'all a basic guide or whatever to what I already know and what I learned or whatever. But I'm going to answer the questions first, because basically this was a question and answer for my moving out experience. But so I'm trying to decide if I want to put who actually asked the question. None of these were like personal questions or nothing like that, so I will actually put it right here if you asked the question, because thank you. So Look at Naya said, what's a good price to start off with when moving out? Okay, so I guess she means like what's a good price to save when you're moving out. Okay, so Itslormadii did not put a major savings away before I decided to move out. It was kind of just like a in the moment type of thing. So yeah, I mean, I already had savings because I'm really good at saving my money in cash. So I normally take out money out of my bank and save it in cash, which is a good and bad thing, because the reasons why banks have savings accounts for people is because if you put your money in a savings account, it eventually will accrue interest in your savings, and that's how you double your savings basically. But I feel as though if it's on something where I can transfer my money, or like if I'm out and I want something, or I'm hungry or something like that, and I don't got no money and I got all this money in my savings, I'm simply going to just click transfer. And that is where the problem lies. See, if it's in cash and locked away in my room and I'm out, what I'm gonna do, go back home and then go back out? No. But a good price I would say is to look at, like, you want to do some house shopping before you start saving basically. Like, you can get a savings going, but like if you're going to major save to move out, you want to get like, you want to start house like looking for the apartment that you're looking for. And I recommend looking at the highest apartment or the highest rent that you see that you like, and then the lowest rent. All that fits within the amount of money you make and your budget basically. So you want to create a budget. You do want to do that. I personally created a mental budget. I didn't write down anything. I think that's like one of the questions in here too, so I'm gonna kind of touch on it, not really talk about it too much. But I made a mental budget, so I'll talk about that in a few, because I think that's one of the questions on here. But yeah, so you wanna try to like plan out what you're going, like what your highest is going to be and what your lowest is going to be, and then you at least want to save up to your lowest rent, and then you can overachieve and save up to your highest rent. And you want to try to save at least your first month's rent or your security deposit. So in our case, our first month's rent was free, but our security deposit was the same amount as our first month rent. You get what I'm saying? And that was because of the way we applied to the apartment. I'm gonna talk about that later. So you want to save at least your first month's rent plus a security deposit or what it might be. So you won't really know what your security deposit will be because you don't know the information to apply to the apartment. But just kind of save the first month rent of that apartment, and then you can figure the rest out later. Once you apply, you don't have to move in right when you apply either. Keep that in mind. Like when you apply to an apartment, you don't have to be forced to move in. Like you apply, you got approved, you don't have to be like, oh yeah, I want to move in. You get what I'm saying? Like you don't have to feel pressured, because that's what they do. Like once you complete the application, I mean, you are paying for the application, so it makes sense that you would want to move for something you just paid for it. But you don't have to. Like if you feel like you're not completely ready, you just wanted to kind of see like what the steps would be like, you can do that. You don't have to have to move in right when you apply. And if you get approved, you don't have to feel pressured to move. You get what I'm saying? If you're not ready, you're not ready. Period. Don't let nobody pressure you. Yeah, like I would recommend just saving like your first month's rent of the lowest apartment that you're going to be interested in, and then you can keep on saving up. Like keep on saving up. Yeah, I hope that answered the question. Huh? I don't. Yeah, okay. How much did I save was asked by Tiana Amira. So y'all, I probably had like $2,000 in my savings just from saving money, but it was not for moving out. It was not for moving out at all. My moving out experience was a little different than like how the normal moving out experience may be for you guys, but I'll get to that story later. But like I did not save directly for moving out. It was very spontaneous. So yeah, like y'all probably thought I had this major plan, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save all this money in the bank, I'm gonna do this. No, it was very spontaneous, but I did already have money saved. Like I had money saved, so I wasn't sitting like paycheck to paycheck. I had money, so I probably had like $2,000 saved. Mind you, our rent here is $1,109, so I had money saved and ready to go. And I don't live by myself, so I live with my boyfriend. I had about $2,000 saved up already, just ready to go. Yeah, but it was definitely not for moving out. I don't know what it was for. I just was saving money. But yeah, came in handy, I guess. But yeah, that's basically how much I had saved. But what I do recommend is don't beat yourself up trying to save all this bread for moving. Like don't. Like I mean, it's smart to save some money and have some money saved away, but don't beat yourself up trying to save all this money and, oh my god, I don't have enough saved to move. Like you really don't have to beat yourself up about that. As long as you have a stable income coming in and you know how you're going to pay your bills, you really don't have to beat yourself up trying to save. What I do recommend is just like saving for the little things you're going to want or need in your house, like food. And so a good cap would be like $4,000, just so that you're cool when you're moved in. Like for a good move in, $4,000, depending on where you want to stay. Like, and that's not really including the security deposit and rent and stuff like that. That's more like for furniture and things like that, and like food and necessities and like home decor that you're gonna want. But if you want to include like your security deposit and rent and stuff like that, you can too. So it really is all dependent on where you want to stay and where you want to live. Different areas, oh my god, Baltimore is so expensive to live. Like I don't recommend it at all. 0 out of 10. But yeah, so you just want to find out where you want to stay and start working from there. Like area, you know, most areas have about the same price. Like if you're gonna live in Owens Mills, like it's gonna be like $1,300 for like, you get what I'm saying? Like it starts ranging up there. Them fucking apartments is expensive to live in Owens Mills. Like you want to start looking at stuff like that, like where you want to live, what area you want to live in, and look at the rates of apartments there. And that's how you start saving your money. You can't just start saving if you don't know what you're saving for. Like who saves up for a car or a phone and don't know how much it costs? You got to know like what your price range is. You can't just be out here trying to randomly save money. Like it don't work that way. Next question is from officialx.9, and she asked, LOL, yeah, what was your mom's reaction? Okay, yeah, my mom, it's kind of weird. I'm gonna tell y'all the story. Well, not weird, but it's kind of funny. So basically, I guess I'll just tell y'all the story since the question was asked. I actually did not ask my mom if I could move out. I did not ask her at all. Like I kind of just told her what I was doing. So yeah, I didn't ask her. The story goes like this. Y'all, I was home from school because of quarantine and corona. And I was always with Gabe, so I was always at his house like just always over there. I was probably never home. Like, yeah. So it was only right that eventually we just moved out because I'm always there anyway. Might as well move together and share a house. So what the hell. But yeah. Okay, so April, like May, April, March, April, May. That's when we started getting the idea to like move or whatever. So y'all know normally I would go back to school, stay on campus because I'm an on-campus student. But because of COVID and things like that, I got an email saying like, yeah, you're not eligible for on-campus housing. So I'm like, and this was before they told us all of our classes was going to go online. So I'm preparing myself to be like, okay, I'm about to have to commute an hour just to go to school. Like, that's too much. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, since I'm not going to be on campus and I'm not going back on campus, why not really take moving out serious? So that was like my first sign to like that everything was going to be okay. That it was going to work, because I feel like God was telling me like, yeah, go ahead. You get what I'm saying? So after that, we started looking at apartments or whatever. We didn't apply to any at first or nothing like that. And then Gabe and Nana went and looked at different apartments, and they came across the apartment that we live in now. But to be honest with y'all, the apartment that we live in now is not the apartment that they seen. So we got bamboozled. Yo, I'm gonna tell y'all that story too. But yeah, so this was the one that we applied to. But before I applied, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I was talking to my mom, and like I would say probably like 2 weeks before I got approved for this apartment, me and my mom got into this really big fight, like really big argument over nothing. Honestly, I don't even know why. I can't remember, but we got into this argument. And my mom is one of the moms who likes to prove her point. She gonna try to prove like, yeah, I'm right. Like she just gonna try to like, you get what I'm saying? Like she wants you to feel her. And I'm one of them type of people who just don't care. So you gonna me feel you, but okay, cool. Like that's what you said. I'm gonna go with it. I'm not gonna sit there. I'm not gonna kiss butt. I don't do that. So y'all, she was like, you want to talk back and pack your things and get out. Y'all, it's really funny because if y'all know my mom, well, y'all don't know my mom, but I know my mom. And if you know me, then you probably know my mom. So y'all know kind of, like, y'all know how my mom is. So it's really funny. Like, I don't know. It's not funny, but it's funny. So she was like, yeah, pack yourself in. So I literally packed all my things. Mind you, it wasn't that hard to pack all my things because my things are used to being packed because they get packed up to go to school. So I don't even think I really had everything unpacked from the jump, but yeah. So she was like, pack all your things and go, So I packed all my things and I put them in my car. I put them in my car, and yeah, I got going. It's like, y'all went around the corner. I went right around the corner to Gabe's house. I did not plan on like moving my stuff in there. I wasn't gonna move into their house. I just had my stuff in the car, and he was like, "You're not gonna leave your stuff in the car. Come put it in my room." So I'm like, okay, but mind y'all, my mom's texting me. Like, she ain't stopped texting me since she told me to get out. She's like, I don't like this. I don't like arguing with you. You can come back home. Literally within an hour. Y'all, that's what I'm trying to say. She was trying to prove a point. She was trying to prove a point. Like, you see how easy it was for you to do that? That's really like the point she was trying to make. And I'm like, okay, well, since it was this easy for me to do it, I might as well really do it. So I forgot, like probably a week after that, it came up in conversation about like moving. I was like, oh yeah, I'm moving out. But like I was saying it in a joking way, but I was dead serious. She was like, oh yeah. I said, She was like, well, when he moving out and who he moving out with? And I was like, I'm moving out soon with Gabe. And she was like, oh, for real? I said, yeah. Yeah, I'm freaking dead. She was like, oh, for real? I said, And she was like, okay. Like, I don't know if she thought I was being serious or she thought I was playing, because I I was laughing. Like, I was joking, but I was being serious. So, but I think we had just applied to that apartment, but we hadn't got approved yet. So I didn't tell nobody. I didn't even tell I told my mom I was applying or getting approved. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell nobody because I didn't want it to be like, okay, you applied and then I didn't get approved, and that's kind of embarrassing. Like, tell nobody, oh yeah, you know what, I didn't get approved. But like, no, like I wanted to see how things was gonna go for me before I ran my mouth. So then what happened? So I just told her that, and then she was like, well, we basically started talking about like the application process, and then I told her that I told her I did apply, and she was like, well, I hope you get approved, blah blah blah. She didn't say anything else. She didn't say nothing about me moving out. She didn't say nothing about me moving out with my nigga. She didn't say nothing. Like, I feel like she probably said something to my dad or to my god aunt, because those 2 people that like she talked, or my grandmother, those are 3 people that she go around her mouth to, but she didn't say nothing to me about it, so I ain't care. So like a few days later, we literally got approved for the apartment. The lady called us back like, oh, congratulations, da da da. And got approved. And then I told my mom. She was like, oh, that's good. I'm really happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And genuinely. And she was just telling me like, yeah, just be careful. You know, just be wise. I want you to be smart. And I want you to be, you know, be careful about everything. Make sure you always can pay your bills and da da da. And if you ever need to come home, you come back home, baby. Who's coming back home? Because not me. Once I'm out, I'm gone. See you later. Basically, that's how that happened. But y'all, the day that I moved out, my mom cried for 3 days. Every time I called this lady, she was crying. Every time I called her, she was literally bawling tears. I'm like, what are you crying for, ma'am? I leave your house every August to go to school, and I be gone for almost, what, 4 months? Like, what are you crying for? Like, it's not the same. You're gonna have bills. You're growing up. Yeah, like, da, da, da. I'm like, girl, like, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. Like, skirt. But yeah, that was basically her reaction. Like, the reaction that she gave me the day I moved out was nothing but tears. Like, I'm talking about my mom was full on depressed. Like, she was in her room, door shut, crying, sobbing. Every time she would get up, she would come hug me. I'm moving out, she's hugging on me. I'm like, lady, leave me alone. Like, girl, she fly. That was basically her reaction. It wasn't nothing dramatic or anything like that. Like, you're not moving out, you're not moving out on a boy, nothing. Like, it was nothing like that. Like, it was cool as a cucumber. Okay, next question. Were you nervous? Yes. That's the short answer. Yes, I was, because it's just a simple fact that like I'm gonna be on my own. Like, I have responsibilities. I hate paying bills. The first of the month comes around way too quick for me. 30 days, 31 days, really not enough days in a month, because like it really be happening too quick. But yeah, I was nervous because, first of all, y'all, I'm a full-time student. I work a full-time job, and it was just like, when am I ever going to have time to be myself? And I'm still nervous. Like, I still don't be knowing when I'm gonna have time to really chill. Right now I'm on break, so school is not an issue right now, but and just everything, like, yes, I was very nervous. I was nervous because it's just like, this is a really big thing. Like, this is a really big responsibility. This is like a setup for the future, because you can't mess up. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, this is your record, your life. Like, you can't be getting evicted for not paying your bills. You can't be not paying your gas and electric. Your light's gonna be out. Like, just different things like that. And then also like just moving with my boyfriend. I was nervous about that too, because it's just like, you know, things happen with people. You never know how things are gonna be. So it just be like, is it gonna be forever? How's things gonna be? So that's nerve-wracking too. But right now we're really good. So we've been doing really good. So I'm chilling. I'm riding the wave, my friend. I'm riding the wave. But yeah. Yes, the answer to your question. A bitch was very nervous. And next question. Who not a bad bitty? Who that girl right there? That's me. Baddest. Period. Oh, I didn't tell y'all who asked me the last question, but it'll be over here, so shout out to you. But yeah, so Janae asked, how did budgeting go? So, okay. Yeah, I didn't budget. I didn't really create a real budget. I created a mental budget in the sense like, okay, I know how much money I make. I know how much the rent we was looking at was going to be. I know how much, like, actually, to be honest, I didn't know how much the Wi-Fi was going to be because we didn't get Wi-Fi. Like, we didn't get the Wi-Fi I needed until we moved in, because I didn't realize that we needed a really, really, like, expensive Wi-Fi package for me to work from home. Like, I hate that shit, y'all, I swear. But, yeah, so our Wi-Fi is, like, 123. Yeah. So I just basically kind of, like, budgeted once I knew everything. And then, like, our BGE stays between, like, 112, 114. So you'll start to get a better budget once you, like, actually live in your apartment. But to start, like, you know, you want to kind of manage, like, keep an idea, like, what everything is going to look like. Like, okay, you know your rent that you're looking at. So if you're living by yourself, your BGE should not be that expensive. Come on now, like, really, it shouldn't be. At the most, if you're one person and you go to work and you're barely, like, you're home but you're not always home, your BGE should not be, like, over $100, to be honest with you. Learn how to conserve energy so you can save money. Keep in mind, okay, your rent, how much you get paid. So if you get paid every 2 weeks, you want to keep in mind, like, what your really good checks look like and what your really bad checks look like too. Because if you go to work, do what you're supposed to do, you know, go to work all the time, work your hours that you work, and you get a really nice check, then you know how your good checks look. The checks that are bad would be like you maybe missing, like, if you work 5 days out of the week and you only go to work 2 days out of that week for some reason, you know how that check's gonna come out looking in those 2 weeks, like bullcrap. So you want to make sure that your bullcrap check is so good enough to cover your bills, because your bills ain't gonna change, honey. They're gonna still be there. That's basically like the kind of budgeting that I do. Like, I know, okay, my check, because, like, the holidays right now, what I do is I answer questions for college kids. So with the holidays, my manager offers, like, you can go home early, or you don't have to work this day, or da-da-da. So, of course, I'm going to take it because, honey. But I know how my checks are going to look. So I know how much I can give myself, how much leeway I can give myself. Like, okay, if I take this many days off, my check going to look like this. So I need to not take that day off because I need that money. So you got to kind of balance that, like, kind of shuffle around money you don't have so you know what you're going to have. You get what I'm saying? That's the kind of budgeting you want to do. You also want to budget, like, just, like, keep in mind, like, all your bills and pay your bills first. Don't one of the people that push your bills back. Like, it's okay to do that once or twice or whenever you really need to, but don't be one of the people that be like, oh, I'm gonna put that bill off till this da-da-da, because eventually that bill's gonna come up. Like, you have to, like, that's why it's on top of my bills. Like, I pay all my bills first, and if I'm broke, I'm broke, but it is what it is. At least my bills are paid. You get what I'm saying? So that's how budgeting goes. Furniture and necessities. Okay, so furniture wasn't really a big issue. Most of the furniture came from Gabe's grandmother, but even still, it still wouldn't have been a big issue, because my dad owns a furniture store. So it wouldn't have been, like, that hard. If I really, really, really needed it, my dad would have got it for me. But, like, if you're moving out completely independently, what I do recommend when it comes to furniture is to look at the furniture, like, basically furnish your apartment before you get your apartment, and start looking at things that you might want in your apartment, how much they're going to cost, and then start saving that money away, so that by the time you move, you already got that money to buy it. You get what I'm saying? Like, completely make a furniture savings. Like, okay, you know, you want a new bed set. Maybe you're not taking your bed from your parents' house, so you want a new one. Okay, cool. Start saving for that. Know how much that's going to cost. You know how much it's going to cost. You can look it up and physically see how much it's going to cost. Save for that. Okay, you're going to need a couch, a table, like, stuff like that. Like, know how much that stuff is going to cost. Know what you like. Don't try to be like, yeah, I don't know. Go look at what you might want for your apartment and start saving for it. So that way when you move, you already got the furniture stuff. You just got to buy the furniture. That's a really good thing to do. But what I do recommend is, like, don't move out until you, like, can put furniture in your house or your apartment, because Like, I understand, you know, you just started living there and you don't got no furniture. But to be living somewhere for almost a year and your lease is almost up and you still sleeping on the floor, or everybody's coming over and we sitting on the floor watching TV. Like, there's something wrong with that, but there's something wrong with that. Like, you know, that means that you forced your move and you weren't really ready to move out. You don't want to be that person. Like, you don't. Necessities. That's like food. Food, cleaning supplies, things like that. I don't know. You just kind of pick those up along the way. Food, though. I hate grocery shopping. Literally. Y'all, ever since I moved, I mean, you know, it got 10 times worse since I moved. Like, I don't know. I be eating out all the time, and I really need to stop because my bank account be crying because of it. But, yeah. Get on food stamps. Like... It's like, y'all, but yeah, food, grocery shopping, you can spend a cool $500 in groceries and still not get enough groceries. But I don't even know. I guess with grocery shopping, you just kind of go along the way. Like, you get paid, go grocery shopping. You get paid, go necessity shopping. You know what you need? You need soap, dish detergent, stuff like that. Like, if you know you need that kind of stuff, go get it. Like, that stuff is not really that expensive. Like, the main necessities would be like food. That's expensive. But like shopping, cleaning supplies, baby, it's not that bad. Like, just go get it. Like, you can go to the Dollar Tree, spend $5 at the Dollar Tree and get a whole bunch of cleaning supplies, soap and stuff. Simple. That's just like every day. Like, you just every day, like not every day, but that's just simple stuff that you pay for. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's nothing to really worry about. Like, that's not nothing to worry about. Your groceries though, that's something else. That's something I still haven't even managed yet. So I ain't even gonna talk about nothing I still ain't on top of yet. Don't be like me. Don't be like me when it comes to food, because I will blow a bag. I will blow a bag on some eating out. Now I'm gonna answer like some questions I get all the time that didn't nobody really asked, but I get them. How did my dad react? Is funny to you. Okay, so my dad didn't really have time to react because I also, like I told you, I didn't tell him anything. My dad is very present in my life. He's just not present. Like, he lives in Atlanta and he travels back and forth between Atlanta and PA doing work. But he's always been very like involved in like what I have going on, you know. Very, very, very good dad. Very good dad. But I just personally didn't tell my dad because I didn't want nobody to know until I had everything figured out. So basically, this was like in the beginning, especially the beginning of me engaged relationship. Him and my dad didn't meet before I told him I was moving out. So when I told him, it was kind of like, my mom was like, did you tell your dad you're moving? Because we got approved for the apartment already. So basically, a moving date was scheduled and all of that. So I was like, did you tell your dad you're moving? I was like, no. And then I was talking to my dad on FaceTime and I was like, hey, Dad, guess who's moving out? And he was like, who? I said, me. I'm moving out. And he was like, I'm moving with, and I was like, I'm moving with Kate. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I'm happy for you. Are you ready for that? And I'm just like, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, you know, life lessons. You live and you learn. And I can't stop myself from doing something that I feel like I want to do and feel like I'm ready to do, because I'm going to be like, dang, why I stop myself? You get what I'm saying? So I might as well just go ahead and do it. So he didn't really have no negative response. Again, I don't know if he said anything to my mom or anybody else, but to me, I didn't get no negative response. He just was like, be careful. Everybody was telling me just be careful, be mindful, be responsible. Don't have no babies. My dad literally was like, don't have no babies. Oh my god. And then he was like, yeah, I have to meet him because like you're moving with me, I want to meet him. Eventually they met. Now they like buddies. Like, what, Dookie? We got here. No. But yeah, they cool, whatever. It wasn't no bad experience. So I didn't have no bad experience telling my parents or moving out, really. So I had the good end, but I know some people who don't. So yeah. So basically, I also get asked like, how did I convince my parents? Hope I kind of answered that in the story time, but like, I ain't have to convince them. I just told them. I did what I did. Like, but if I had to convince them, the thing I want to say to y'all, if I had to actually say like, hey, can I move out? Or hey, can I move out with a boy? I'd have been like, I'd have had a plan, because for one, you have to have a plan. You can't just do stuff. Stuff can be spontaneous, but you still want to have a plan. Like, I would have came to my parents like, yes, if this don't work out, I can pay for everything by myself. I'm good by myself. Like, that's the kind of thing you want to be like. You know, if things don't work out, you still want to be independent. You don't want to have to be like, well, I can't do this without you. No. Like, if you want to dip, you can dip, honey. Because I can do it by myself. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like, that's basically it. You don't want to rely on nobody. Like, even if it's not a boy or your spouse or your partner that you're moving out with, even if you're moving out with friends, like, you know, your best friend, like, you know, things happen, friendships end, things happen. So you want to make sure, like, you know, like, keep that in mind, that if something was bad to go or go wrong, you'll be able to do it on your own. You wouldn't be struggling. So you want to keep that in mind too. Like, don't get hyped up in the idea of moving out and not really be focused on everything else. So yeah, but basically I would just say convince your parents by like letting them know you have a plan, you have it figured out. And even if your plan is not solid proof, you still have something to fall back on. You get what I'm saying? I know a lot of parents are against like moving out with your partner or whatever the case may be, but I don't I don't really know, because at the end of the day, like, if you go and move out and you have a boyfriend, they're going to be there all the time. Might as well pay some bills while you're over here. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't. They're going to be there anyway. Like, if I had moved out on my own, trust and believe, Gabriel's going to be at my house every day, because who wants to sleep alone? So at the end of the day, you might as well. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Some parents just be like, no. Like, no. But how you going to tell me no? Like, I'm grown. Like, really, I really don't have, like, if you're going to be fully independent, like, now, if you're asking your parents to co-sign on something or pay for something, that's different. I'm completely independent. I pay everything on my own. Like, I don't ask my parents for anything. Anything that's given to me by my parents is because my parents wanted to give it to me. I don't ask for nothing. So if you're going to be asking and dabbling their account, and that's completely different. That means that, like, you're not really ready to live independently. You're not financially independent. So you maybe need to reconsider. So they will have control over you when it comes to who's at your house, what house you live in, things like that. But if you're going to be on your own, really, what can they tell you? Because you're doing it on your own. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they have to let you be independent, or else you're going to be 45 living in your parents' basement. Not cute. Period. Another question I get asked all the time is apartment shopping. That's not really hard. That's just basically trying to figure out what you like, and what amenities you want, or whatever the case may be. Personally, y'all, let me tell you how we got bamboozled. So they went to go see this apartment, in the area, and the showing apartment was not the apartment. Mind y'all, I didn't go because I was at work, but I was doing all the talking on the phone. So I'm talking to the leasing lady, and she's like, yeah, we have an apartment, what the fuck she call this? I don't know what she called it. I forgot. But I guess it's two types of apartments. Like the modern ones, and then this one. I guess. I don't know. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, go ahead. Give us the one that she said, this one. But I guess it wasn't the one that we seen. So I'm like, okay, I didn't know. So what I recommend y'all doing the day before y'all even sign the lease, ask if you can come see the house you're gonna be moving into, which is what you're supposed to do anyway. But because of COVID, things was a little weird, because we were moving at like a COVID type of time, like looking at apartments during COVID. So everything was really on lockdown, to be honest. So it was a little harder, but I do recommend like going to see the apartment you're moving in before you sign a lease, so that you know what you're signing your name to, where you signing your name to, analyze everything, and just figure out if you like it or not. Because y'all, Who's shooting? I'm ready to go. I don't like this apartment at all. And I've been looking at every townhouse there is to look at because we're trying to move to a townhouse. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And yeah, so I'm coming up to y'all and I'm gonna give y'all an update on moving out into a townhouse, honey. Period. Because we is leaving this apartment. I can't stand this apartment. I'm gonna give y'all so many story times coming up just about this apartment. And I'm gonna tell y'all everything. And I'm gonna spill the tea. And once I move, I'm a name drop. So don't apply to this one. Another question I get asked is getting approved. Getting approved is not as hard as y'all think. It just sounds hard. It's not hard. For this apartment, what is really going on outside? For this apartment, it's near a college, so they have like a lot of campus, like students that live off campus. But to be honest, I don't think I've seen one person who live in these apartments that would go to college. They all look, yeah. Anyway, or would be in college. Like I haven't seen no real like giving college student type vibes. But yeah, so they take like apparently they have a lot of college students. So they have this program or whatever. Not really a program, but like they just have this thing where if you're a full-time college student, they don't run your credit. They just take your schedule and give you a flat rate for security deposit, and everything else is just like flat. Everything is just like basically is what it is. So they don't charge you no extra fees or nothing like that. They just give it to you, which is really good because it kind of helped a little bit. So you can look for, like, ask. Like, when you apply to apartments, ask about that type of stuff because they're not just going to tell you that. They want their money. They're not just going to tell you that. So you have to mention it or bring it up or ask. Definitely ask. One thing I do want to say, don't go around applying to every apartment, spending your money on applications, processes, and things like that, because eventually it's going to start looking on your credit that you applied to all these apartments and you got denied. So you don't want to do that. It's not going to drop your credit score by that much, but it will start putting a little dent in your credit score. That's basically the end of this video. It's 44 minutes, but I know I'm about to cut it down to like 20. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Check out me and Gabe's Couples channel. And yeah, I love you guys so much. And thank you so much for subscribing and everything. If you guys have any more questions that I did not answer in this video, please comment them down below. I will make a part 2 to this video. And yeah, like I really enjoyed making this video, answering you guys' questions. That was really fun for me. Like